They never found the body. What if he decides to come back here?
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you will ever listen to.
I swear and I promise your final bros are here. It's Brian Hopper Lagrasta and Shane, I'm going to have 6 kids, Smith. And we are joined by my fiance, my lovely fiance, Kaitlyn. I don't know if we've had you since we've been engaged. We might have. Slaughterhouse might have came out.
Oh, yeah. There is Slaughterhouse.
We are engaged.
We are.
I love you.
I love you. Even though you're mean to my animals.
Yep, because I don't like them. Okay, here we go. I like your animals, just to specify. I just don't like animals in general. They get in the way, which is true and has been evidenced by me watching all these movies and Snoopy's literally sitting in the middle of where I needed to watch.
Is he in the way or is he keeping you company?
In the way. 100%.
Shane,
He was.
you want to weigh in on this?
He was sleeping, Jane. He was sleeping. He was definitely not keeping me company.
Shane, look at this face.
Look, he's great. He's great now. And look, if you told this to that cuck Mike G, he would agree with you. But that's because Mike G, and I hope he hears this, is a fucking cuck.
Oh my God.
I love you, Mike G.
I love you too, Mike G.
I think the dog's really cute, and he kind of adds to the ambiance.
That's right.
But
I don't think he's in the way.
Yes,
no,
Shane,
but
yes.
Mike G.
Is a cuck.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all I want to hear. No, Snoopy's a good boy. Snoopy's a good boy.
Little guy.
Good boy.
So
But
cute.
he absolutely was in the way. He literally slept right in the middle of both, and I literally had to sit behind him.
It's
It was a
bullshit.
disaster.
Look at this.
In any case, today we are reviewing Terrifier 2.
Yes.
A sequel to a highly anticipated sequel to the original Terrifier, which was terrifying. I felt like it was really gritty,
Yeah.
really scary, a lot of basement kills, a lot of gruesome kills. How does this one kind of follow?
It sucks.
A lot of people. Well, okay, relax.
That's a strong take.
I feel like though that is the. I feel like it's either like people will love the direction or people hate it. I listen to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I listen to like a lot of podcasts where they think this is one of the best movies of last year.
It's not that. I guess I'm the rare case where I think I fall in the middle on it.
Sure.
Like I think this movie was very well done. I think it has its issues. One, it's too long for its own good. The kills are too over the top with the people staying alive during them. Like
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we'll get to it. But there was one kill that drove me nuts that it just seemed so like all these kills happen and the people are still alive. But then there's one kill where it's something so simple and gets knocked out right away. And I'm like, come on.
So my like philosophy, like peeling back the onion.
nice.
Or the skin.
I think the fantastical element of this movie kind of takes away from the horror.
It does.
Like the first movie was just so dark and creepy, and the clown still is. Even in the beginning where he's talking to like who's considered the little pale girl, which is I think is considered his first victim.
Yes.
And like when the guy at the laundromat is observing him not talking to anybody and doing pancakes by himself, being naked, I thought it was terrifying. Like he still is super scary. It's just the horror gets peeled back when you have this element of like this destiny to fight good versus evil, and like it takes a sword to resurrect her back to life to have this ultimate fight with him. I'm like, dude, this is a clown that just is killing people in the most gruesome way possible.
Yeah, so that I'm gonna play off your fantasy element to this because it gets a little confusing at times because the guy doesn't see the girl in the laundromat, right?
No, he doesn't.
But the brother and sister
Do.
So is the girl real? Is the girl just to the people of the fantasy story can see her? Like,
Yes, that's my direction. I think that she's only visible to the people involved in the fantasy, which was devised by her father, who had like some kind of like a brain tumor.
a brain tumor.
And I think the idea is, and we will absolutely elaborate on this from my theory, is that when people have like brain tumors or they have like some kind of issue, they can somehow tap into some elements that other people can't tap into,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, as we've seen in these movies. And he devises this plot line of like his daughter dresses up as this like angelic machine gun beast who will eventually fight this inevitable evil clown. And I think that by his story, he number one resurrects his daughter, number two resurrects his Art the Clown, the evil, into this ultimate fight involving this sword. And I've never seen a horror movie. Honestly, I've never seen a horror movie where it almost was like these beings have to like be resurrected and fight in this battle for good and evil, and there's an Excalibur sword involved that's impenetrable and unkillable by fire.
Yeah. There's a lot going on here. Like,
I'm sorry if I'm ranting, but it just seems like such a
I do it all the time, so I get it.
It's a different movie concept, and people love it. People are like confused by it. I want to dig in. I think there's a lot to talk about. It's 2.5 hours long.
I just think there's a fear in simplicity and not really knowing what's going on.
Well, Shane and I have been saying that since we started. Less is always more.
Yeah, so for me, like the first one, it was just so raw and very creepy and could really happen. Like there's so many like creepy, you can go into a diner late at night and some creepy person walks in and it's just very odd. And then I had so much hope for the second one being an explanation of some sort, along with keeping that creep factor, like finding out who he is, especially after that whole scene in Terrifier 1 where that homeless lady's like, haven't you ever felt the mother's touch or love? And I was like, ooh, yes, give that more. Like, let's find out like his, like almost like a serial killer backstory.
Art the Clown is the scariest slasher in the 20th century.
Absolutely.
Bar none.
Until you watch Terrifier 2.
I think that even with the, like, if you like it or not, I think it's a given. He is absolutely terrifying.
That's the thing. Like, his character worked better I guess he's always had a supernatural element to him, even going back to like All Hallows Eve.
Yes.
He kind of teleported around. But like with Terrifier, I originally thought the direction they were taking him was he was just a real person as a serial killer until they resurrected him after getting shot in the head. And like even now, I thought maybe they were just going with the ghost route or something like that. But like, you're right. It just goes to this weird fantasy, like David Goliath, like knights versus like barbarians, kind of like.
Yeah, he's
it's
Art
so
the Barbarian.
strange.
And a part of me thought that this whole thing was that he was their father, like he was
that would have been an interesting route.
They take you in that route. They make you think that it could potentially be the father. Some people think that by writing the book, the evil entity became the father versus the daughter, and it was like a fight between father and daughter.
Because they even said like the friend when they were in the car was telling her boyfriend that the father, once he got the brain tumor, became very abusive towards her and violent. So it's like, oh my god, you're setting this up. And then like the son, they made a comment about him being really tall. I feel like all these like plots like could have like really made it seem.
I think there was a bunch of misdirects. Personally, I don't think that the father was the killer. I actually just think it was
but
I
thought that'd be more interesting.
But it is it's a Reddit theory, like that it could be.
Yeah.
And that maybe like this little girl that he sees like is part of his, they say it's part of his first kill. And I thought maybe they were going to he wanted his children then with him to also be in this weird evil killing family of, I don't know. I just thought that's maybe how it was going to go.
How'd you feel about the music?
It's Drive. Like,
yeah,
it's
like the retro.
It works though for this, to be honest. I like, what was that movie we just watched recently that did that? Oh, Sky Sharks.
Yeah, and it
didn't work.
It worked. For
it works for this.
Yeah, it works for this.
The vibe of this movie, it works for, because the soundtrack isn't just that. They do use other songs, and it's just not forcing it. It uses it at the right times.
Yep, I agree.
I guess the last thing I'll say before we jump into the spooky pit is this whole movie probably could have been solved if Neil Breen had a magic rock to cure brain cancer.
He's so fucking sick, Shane.
I think that literally would have solved the whole movie if Neil Breen had just went to their dad and touched him. Would solve the whole thing.
Maybe. Quite potentially.
All right, fuck it. Jump into the spooky pit. Dead possum.
It does happen. Terrifier 2, released 2022. Art the Clown is resurrected, heads back to Miles County where he has his target set on a girl and her younger brother after he savagely murders all in his path. Directed by Damien Leone, and it stars Laura Lavera as Sienna, David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, Elliot Fulham as Jonathan, Sarah Voight as Barbara, and Amelia McLean as a little pale girl. Yeah, I mean, I think they're both creepy. I think the little girl's creepy too. Obviously, that's his first victim. I don't know how are they like alluding to the fact that she was a part of like this like little like clown cafe and that's where he killed her?
No, he kills her at the amusement park, right?
That circus that he leads them to at the end.
Yeah, that circus where they all go at the end. I think it was where
It was
the
in the-
first kill
Oh,
in
took
the,
place.
you're talking about in the Terrifier?
Yeah, in the Terrifier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But like to that point, it's why it's confusing. Yes.
You noticed, okay. Felicity
We'll
Rose.
bring it up when we get there.
Yeah, Felicity Rose for sure.
Yeah, what I was saying was like it's super weird because like I don't know, they like mentioned that was his first kill, but why is that like the entity that stays with him? Why is that the entity that was chosen for the other people to see? It's just very strange.
It's only the family that sees it. I feel
Yeah.
like it's involved in the family. Nobody else sees it, especially because there's elements where they see it and it could be visible by her friends that don't see it.
Yeah.
Is it because the father put her article in the book?
Probably, I guess that's what brought her to life. So the whole idea is the father is a magician or like some kind of guy who could just bring people to life.
Except himself.
Dark. But yeah, no, it's true though. All right, so I'm just going to talk about the beginning just so people know how we even get into this. The movie starts right where it ended in the morgue where Art the Clown he's alive from the gunshot. He just savagely murders this coroner by knocking his teeth out and
It's brutal.
beating his face
With
in with
little,
a hammer.
little mallet device.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Dude, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Like Scott was saying, the teeth getting knocked out is always like a cringe kill. He's another guy. This guy seems to live for way too long because he had already gotten his throat slashed like 5 minutes prior to even the hammer hitting him.
Oh, yeah. Like the
Yeah.
bleeding out, and then he had the
I feel like
smash.
he would have bled out by now.
Oh, see, all these
100%.
kills are so unrealistic as far as people being alive.
Yeah. So, all right. That Art the Clown has escaped. He goes to the laundromat, which you already mentioned, so we'll kind of just gloss through it. He's doing his clothes. He's playing patty cake with the girl. The one guy just sees Art playing patty cake by himself. Super confusing. Guy gets a broom handle through the head.
It's the mop panel, right?
Yeah, the mop handle. Broom handle, mop panel. Yeah, it's just like things like that are setting it up where this girl is in Art's mind, which is going to change eventually. It's strange. So we're going to meet our main family. Jonathan, the young son, Sienna, the daughter, and then the mom who I don't know her name.
I think it's, I know the
can't
actress's
remember.
name. I'll find the character's name in a minute.
They really just call
Barbara.
her Barbara. There we go. And they're what I like to call a dysfunctional family because they have all the signs of a dysfunctional family. A dead father, a son who may grow up to be Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, because he's got like serial killing postings. He's
And-
infatuated with Art the Clown. He wants to dress up as if it's Halloween.
And a daughter who's destined to go to art school. Like, it's all the makings of a dysfunctional family.
She is
An emo girl who is going to art school.
she's making
Yeah, it's
she's-
over.
She's making her own costume. What is she, my fiance?
It's just like those girls, right? That they're just poor and make their own clothing.
Yeah. They make their own clothes.
Totally awesome reference.
Yeah,
for
it's a
those who
movie.
didn't
It's a
get
movie
it.
reference. I'm not saying you're poor, but it's a reference from a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't.
Oh, you got to watch Totally Awesome then if you haven't seen
It's
it.
I was gonna say I was completely lost.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mikey Day from Wild and Out.
Matt TV.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Yeah, Matt TV too, right? Yeah. It's great.
Chris Kattan,
Chris Kattan is in it. Oh, and Tracy Morgan.
Tracy
Oh,
Morgan.
wow. That sounds amazing.
It's hilarious. What am I, some kind of wizard?
It's just like it's just like a spectacularly mid 2000s movie that went way under the radar.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're the only people that actually watched it. But it's absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, there's
Ben Stein is in it.
Yeah, there's a stand around.
It's a stand around. Tone Loc is in
because
it.
you can't have a dance anymore because their feet will come loose.
Yeah. He's like my Oriental neighbor. He goes Asian stupid. Asian stupid.
Such a good movie.
Apparently, Oriental's like a racist term nowadays.
It
is. I'm sorry. That one blows my mind.
Hey, where's the beef?
Because like if I say Asian, I feel like I'm including everybody.
Everything.
But if I say Oriental, I'm really like segmenting into a population. But apparently they don't like that. So it's tough, man. And I don't understand it. It is what it is. I'm just gonna keep saying shit until I get in trouble. Because I don't know what to do. I'm confused.
The rules are changing every
They're
day.
changing very fast, like iPhones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about school. We're at school. Jonathan's there. He's got some friends. Not even sure if they're his friends, but they're like, yo, look at this dead possum. Let's poke it with a stick, as kids do in the Midwest.
I think this is where he sees like Art the Clown and the girl.
Yeah.
Playing around, like having it out, and then eventually he just ends up with a dead animal, the dead possum.
Yeah,
So wild.
they throw it at him.
Yes.
Yep.
And he gets in trouble by Principal Angela.
Principal Angela, and then the mom just comes down, and I'm like, "You fucking did this! I know you did
You
it."
serial killer.
Yeah. So this is the thing here. The mom is going through a lot, but she's also really bad at handling stressful situations, and she seems to always do whatever the option to make it worse is.
She does.
I feel like that is the option she takes.
Yeah,
because she just like doesn't listen. Granted, I feel like we were thrown in a situation where like this has been building for quite some time, so I don't know how much stress she's been under, but like she doesn't listen to anything they say. She just yells at people.
yep.
It's
It's a single parent. It's not easy,
yeah, exactly. And
and her son could be a serial killer. But I mean, he honestly,
to be fair, who the fuck's dressing up as Art the Clown? A guy who just killed 9 people last year.
yeah, and he
But
does.
clearly that wasn't a problem when Art the Clown is in the costume store and no one says anything about it.
That's a good point too.
That's what blew my mind.
The store clerk called it out, but yeah,
He does?
the store clerk does.
No, he called him out for being a douche.
Yeah, he calls him out for being a douche because he's fucking.
He doesn't
with
say,
everybody.
"Hey, douche, you dressed up as Art the Clown who killed people last
He
year."
may not know. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's-
He should know, but
Yeah.
it is Miles County.
It's like someone dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Which is what they
Say like a
It's
year
fucked up.
later.
Is it weird that I was considering as a potential costume this year?
No, you should be
Jeffrey
Ted
Dahmer.
Bundy.
I know what I'm gonna be, but it's I wanted.
I know we know what you're gonna be.
I was gonna be.
But
I was
I can-
considering Jeffrey Dahmer.
I see more of the Ted Bundy in you.
Are you saying that I'm fucking like serial killers are just like the hottest people on the planet? So like
You have
think,
the hair.
Huh?
You have the hair for it.
Okay. You think I have the lawyer smarts? I don't think so. Ted Bundy was.
I think you have the stubbornness of a lawyer.
Ted Bundy was a savant.
I know, but
He also liked the
He was
climb.
stubborn and never wrong.
The man liked to climb.
He did. But you also don't you like FSU? Didn't he kill 4 sorority girls at FSU?
Yeah, he killed a lot at FSU.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I think I remember listening to the last podcast on the left, and the one guy Henry went to a party once at FSU. He's like, "Hey, isn't this where Jeffrey Dahmer killed all those girls?" And they threw him out of the party.
Oh, you mean Ted Bundy?
Yeah, Ted Bundy. That's what I meant. Ted Bundy, and they
I
threw him out of the party.
Because I tell you what, Jeffrey Dahmer ain't killing girls.
That's a good point.
That
He's
man liked to sweaty
I was
hog
safe.
as
Yeah, I
much
was
as
gonna
the
say,
next
I'm
guy.
safe.
He
Jeffrey
actually
Dahmer.
loved small Vietnamese boys. I think that was his favorite.
Who?
Dahmer.
No, blacks.
Oh, that too. Yes.
He loved a good black man.
yeah.
What? We watched it. What are you talking about? You know he liked a good black.
I'm just listening to you say shit sometimes.
We watched the thing.
I know.
I think she's going, it's the way you phrase things. But yeah, no, I wanted to get back into the movie because there's one thing
good.
we're
I'm
gonna
glad
talk
you do.
about. Yeah.
Shane, you fucking?
Art?
No.
Sienna?
Yeah.
She a cute girl.
See? He would do it.
I never. When we talked about that,
No, this is what we do. I will point out someone and I'll ask if Shane's fucking.
Brian, you fucking?
No. No, I'm not. Kaitlyn, are you okay?
I meant Art.
No, definitely
There
not.
was more of a hesitation though for Art.
Because Art would fucking terrify. I'd rather fuck her than Art. Art would fucking kill me.
I would hope so.
What I wanted to bring up about Sienna before we get into this scene is that she has a dream about the clown cafe.
Yeah.
Where Art just massacres all the people at the clown cafe. I kind of want to gloss over the scene. It's really long, really unnecessary. The main point of it is her dream causes a fire in her room, which burns her Halloween costume.
Her friend would argue that actually it was the fire that caused the nightmare.
Yes.
Brian couldn't stand that part.
I couldn't understand it. After you told me, I kind of understood it a little bit more because, like, the coughing reference. Like, sometimes, like, you get a nightmare about, like, coughing and, like your throat's dry, and then you wake up and you're like... It's happened to me before.
I think the idea was the fire was so traumatizing. That's why she had a nightmare.
That's why.
But
That's what I
it's
said.
the biggest piece. Either there is a fire, but the sword that's there
Yes.
is not caught on fire. But they are able to put out the fire.
Yes. And now I wanted to bring all that up because now they have to go to the Halloween store, as well I'm going to call it, to buy a new costume for Sienna. It's her and her friend Alice.
Allie. Yeah.
She's trying to get the costume that her father had in the sketchbook.
Well, she
Yeah.
she needed the wings.
She needed the wings
Yeah.
to repaint them.
And this is the scene I was talking about that drives me nuts.
I love this scene.
No,
This scene's
this
incredible,
scene I
yeah.
love. No, this is my favorite. Like when he puts the flower sunglasses
Yeah.
on, I think this is hilarious. That's not what pisses me off. I think this scene's brilliant.
I know what you're talking about. Because he does the googly eyes, and she's just like,
Yeah, so this whole
Fucked
scene
up.
actually makes me very anxious. I think they did a great job because you could feel her fear.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And like again, I was getting pissed off that the store owner should notice that this is the serial killer or that he's dressed up as one. But also I get pissed because all Art has to do is crack a bottle over this guy's head and he's out cold and he's able to pull him across the thing. Like I feel like if this was real, this black guy would fuck him up.
This is the thing. I'm going to throw it out there. He just cracks the bottle over his head without any warning. When you really think about an actual bottle,
Yeah.
if you had that cracked over your head to the point where it actually broke, I think you would be instantly concussed. Like, think how
True,
heavy like a
but
Bud
if
Light
you're-
bottle is and how much force you have to use on a person's head
True.
to break it.
But if you get your throat slit open, I think right away you'd probably lose blood and
If you just let throat, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like you're dead. You're gonna breathe in blood and you're gonna die.
Well, to be fair, the second he stabbed that guy in the eye with the bottle, he'd be dead because he jabs that in so far that thing's
his
touching
his brain. Yep.
Oh, through his
1,000%.
eye?
Yeah.
1,000%.
That is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
This scene I love when he's like taking the horn and like just
Please just,
honking it at her.
Please don't.
And he's just like he's terrifying.
And this is the thing, though, that works for this movie. The two of them are very good.
Yeah, the two of them
Oh,
together.
she's
are very
good. Yeah, she's good too.
She's a great
Her
actress.
brother's a little annoying and not great at times, but she's fucking phenomenal.
She's good.
And at this point, you would think this guy would be like, "Get the fuck out!"
I know.
Like, he warns him, but he's just like, "Look at this."
He's very nonchalant. I think the idea is that he's working on Halloween and doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, that's very true.
And he's just trying to get through his shift.
Look at that. Like, anywho, so that pissed me off a little bit.
So we'll just sum it up. Bottle gets cracked over the cashier's head, gets pulled over the desk, gets stabbed in the eye with a bottle, then has his head hit with a meat cleaver?
Yeah,
I
like
think it is.
halfway through. Yeah.
And then
Cleaned
just
right off.
cuts it off. And then in a really cool scene, he holds the head up to pretend he's like a Halloween decoration in the store. And the kid's like, oh, that's cool.
And like he moves. Like,
Yeah, he does.
He like
Sticks his tongue out.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the scene though when he is buying this horn and
Yeah.
he's just like taking everything out of that black garbage bag.
Oh
like-
my God. And there's pennies and knives.
And he gives him bloody money.
You taking the blood money?
Probably not.
I
Like,
am.
Get out of your store. He's like pulling out the money out of his bag. Like everything comes out of his bag. It's pretty like creepy.
I'm going to be honest. I'm one of those people. I would have called the police like 5 minutes ago.
100%.
Oh yeah, I'm not wasting
I ain't
any
fucking
time.
around with this.
Oh no, not at all.
I know people call the police too soon. This is calling the police too late because he doesn't. I would have did a long time.
Yeah.
The second he put the chains in the like,
But if you think about it, even
I
if he
would-
calls the police at this point, Art was gonna get him.
I don't know though. Like this guy's way too not on guard. Like why is he so nonchalant about this whole situation? He just put a rusty cleaver on his.
This
desk.
is my favorite part when watch ready when he slams the
desk.
desk.
makes
He's
the
like,
face.
like. I just think
He is really good as being a clown and a
Yeah.
mime.
He's phenomenal.
it's as a dental hygienist, I want
Yeah.
to clean those teeth.
Well, he's dead, and that's actually just wild. That is your initial reaction is to want to clean his teeth.
I do.
All right, so Allie, the friend of Sienna, is going to get followed to her house. Right, that is basically the next
Yep.
big thing. He follows her to the house. She's giving out candy for trick or treat. He shows up. She says no candy for adults.
Not for adults.
Just give him
Go
the fucking
away.
candy.
Yeah,
He's
just
he's gonna come back.
Yeah, just give him the candy.
I'll tell you right now, if some creepy guy comes to the house, which actually we do have a creepy, I'm giving that fucker candy.
That would be very fitting.
Oh God. So let's talk about poor sweet and innocent Allie. Probably just the sweetest.
It's literally what I said. I said I don't understand how the sweetest characters got killed in the worst fashion.
They do it in all these movies.
Ugh.
Like her friend Brianna was the other one. Brooke.
She fucking like
right?
mollied her friends. Like it's
Yeah,
so stupid.
such a horrible decision maker, and her death sucks. But dude, Allie, like, oh, all right, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about
Art
it.
breaks in, runs her into her bedroom, starts off by scalpeling down her eye.
Dude, she scalpels down her eye, and then the next move is to take scissors and just cuts
Yes,
around her head
and just fucking scalps her.
to where you see her visible brain.
Right, which I will still say at this point, she would still be alive for a little bit. This wouldn't insta-kill you.
Yeah, maybe
But
like
now it starts, this is where it starts to get excessive.
Well, she's also in the process, like, losing blood.
because isn't he
the
also
second.
like he's also skinning her like
now he
arm.
starts scissoring her back.
back. Yep.
And just starts.
It's a fillet.
It's a flag.
I would say at this point she's probably unconscious. Like, that's a
She's
lot of
not,
blood
but she's
loss.
not.
And that's the issue. Because at first, I'm going to say everything that's happening, she would be alive. I even think when he's first skiing her back, she would still be alive for a little bit of it. Because you don't instantly die, I guess, from that. But then once the back is getting ripped, I think at this point, the blood
You'd go
loss
into
would
shock.
unbound.
Yeah.
Yes. Then he takes her arm and rips her arm off. And then she takes her other arm and rips it in
So
half.
he takes her fingers and just, like, he has the strength to actually, like, rip through finger skin and
Bone.
So, like, I'm saying, like, movie is very scary. It just becomes a little over the top with the kills.
Yeah.
When you can just start, like, ripping skin with your own hand.
Yes. And then
The best part.
he leaves. And you're like, all right, it's over. She's dead.
No, she starts crawling.
No,
I'm
because
sorry.
it pans back and it's ridiculous. But this part's actually, it's fucking dark. I guess we've done 190 episodes. I could laugh at this. He runs in with the bleach and the salt, and when he just starts salting her like she's a goddamn snail, I actually chuckled a little bit.
Yeah, me too. It's just it's just so ridiculous.
I can't get through that scene without laughing. It's just absolutely absurd.
When
The
he starts
bleach
salting
and the
her,
salt, like, I can't.
yeah, it's. But then he just rips like her face off.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, though, and I stand by this. For a movie that went to movie theaters, I think it's the bloodiest scene I've ever seen for a single kill.
Yeah, it's super
It's
bloody.
tough. Mm-hmm.
It's super bloody. It's no matter how you splice it, it is absolutely uncomfortable. For me, like, it just went on for so long, and I feel like he didn't have, like, intention with this kill. He just went out with the purpose of, like, I'm going to
Massacre.
to absolutely massacre, but every different part of her body.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, like, I know it's over the top, like I said, but, like, I'm thinking, like, even the Saw movies don't get to that level of gore.
yeah,
or,
yeah.
like, I'm, like, thinking, like, Dead Alive, I don't think went to theaters. Like, I'm trying to think of a movie that went to, like, movie theaters that was just this gory, that was rated R. No
This is
less.
supposedly one of those
Yeah.
movies that, like, people had a hard time watching, and they would walk out of the
And
theaters.
it is hard to stomach a little bit, but if you really look at it, it's not realistic at all. But
It's crazy, though.
the thought of it happening is more disgusting than actually seeing it.
Yeah, so she's dead. The mom comes in, sees her still alive.
So she's not dead.
She's like, Mama.
Absurd. Then we realize that he's going to use the mom's head as a pumpkin
Brilliant.
Candy bowl to give
Incredible.
to kids, which, to be fair, is actually, they do little things like this. They're very good touches.
I like that.
To
And
be
I
in theme with this, I made sure to bite my lips so I could bleed myself.
Okay.
you bit your lip?
Yeah.
Okay. While he's tending to his wounds. Do you want salt? Anyway.
I'm sure there's some bleach in the cabinet.
What I like about Art the Clown is how he cracks himself up.
Yes.
That's probably one of my favorite parts is that he does this weird shit and then he laughs about it. So I still think that's really creepy. But then other than that, again, he just loses the creep fest.
Yeah. You're right, though, because he comes too comical with the things he's doing.
Yeah.
All right. So they're dead. Jonathan is in trouble because of the whole possum thing from the mom. Allie's dead. Sienna's getting ready for the party at night with Brooke. We established.
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
We're going to find out soon.
We will. Jonathan is grounded.
Yes.
He cannot go anywhere because of the whole dead possum thing.
Which I guess to be fair for the mom. But it is the steps of a serial killer.
Yes. So she's kind of concerned. She even yells at him, I'm bringing you to that doctor.
And then put your bowl in the sink.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Apparently, the kid's just leaving bowls everywhere. So Jonathan's going to be home with the mom. Sienna's going to go and get picked up by Brooke. They're going to like this. It's a bar, I assume?
Yeah, I think they're definitely not supposed to be there.
No, they're supposed to be at a friend's house, but they go there. And Jonathan is going to be home with his mom, and the mom's going to yell at him about the sketchbook that he has from the dad again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, it's these stupid drawings.
Yeah.
So he's going to call her a bitch.
I mean, like, let's be honest. Like,
Oh my God.
the drawings are pretty clear. How
Yeah.
can you deny the fact that your husband drew these things?
Well, she didn't deny. I think this is the first time you kind of know that the father had something really wrong with him. Well, I think
they had talked about it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They
You know,
had
Sienna
talked
did
about it.
mention it, but I like the mother says like you know he didn't know what he was doing towards the end,
Yeah.
and I think she just really didn't want to remember that book.
It's kind of like a in denial thing though, because you literally like if you actually just sat down and looked, there's a correlation. Like I guess you don't want to think that like this person that you loved was like drawing serial killers of the future. I guess it's kind of.
Which again would have made it look so good if he was actually Art the Clown. He's killing all the friends, trying to get rid of anybody that's close with his children to keep them with him only. Let me rewrite this movie.
Okay.
So the mom calls Sienna 9 times. Sienna didn't answer. Then Sienna's about to call her mom back. That's when Brooke's like, you probably shouldn't call your mom. I may have put like half a Molly in your
She does
drink.
call her mom.
Well, I knew she had to be on something because the girl is literally like feeling herself in the dance floor. I even said to Brian, I was like, it looks like she's like on E or something.
Well, she looked like Jonah Hill in that Russell Brand movie where they're feeling the fluffy wall after
Down to
taking
the Greek?
Yeah. Because isn't she touching the wall at one point?
Yeah, she is. And then the guy really comes over and asks for a selfie.
Yeah.
Which, who does this?
Anybody in
I've
Slaughterhouse.
actually seen that before on Halloween. I feel like where someone has just gone up to
Likes
someone
their
with a nice
costumes?
costume and taken a picture with them.
Fine. It just felt weird.
Slaughterhouse and a Slipknot concert.
Oh no! All right, Slaughterhouse is weird because they were just in a mall. I mean, like I've seen it. I think in college where someone has liked someone's costume and just taken a picture because of the costume.
Or last night when I'm just trying to buy a hot dog at the Paranormal Circus and some lady's touching my shirt to take a picture. It still bothered me. My shirt's not that funny. It's actually the same shirt I'm wearing now.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at this.
She found it funny.
Right, bud?
It was annoying. She touched me a couple times.
Well, see, that's weird. You don't just go up and touch someone.
No, I didn't like it.
You ask permission not to touch someone, to take a picture, not to be like, hey, can I touch you? Just, hey, I like your shirt. Can I take a picture?
She did, and then she proceeded to keep touching my shirt.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's very weird.
And it's not that funny. Anyway, I digress.
Okay, so let's cut back. Jonathan is going to go back home, but before he gets home, the mom's going to see that the car has been shaving cream.
Well, she thinks it's him. He's
all
completely
that.
shaving cream.
And
She's going to go into the car.
She's gonna
check it out.
Yep, and Art's just sitting there with a shotgun and blows her head off.
Pulls her face, chunks it off.
Best death in the movie in terms of that was fast and probably the most pleasant death for someone to experience.
So it's not really in his wheelhouse, seeing as he just like fucking tortures people.
He uses a gun though in the first one.
No, he does use a gun and he does shoot, but this is just like it's just like
Abrupt.
He's very big into like slicing and cutting people up, so it's a little rare.
See, it would go back though to the theory that if Art the Clown was the dad, he gave the mom a merciful death.
Thank you, Shane. You took the words out of my mouth. And then he sets her up at the dinner table, waiting for Jonathan. I'm like, in his sick mind, like, oh, we're a family having dinner. God, but
They don't go that route though, so it's like all for.
It's annoying, all for nothing.
He does shove mashed potatoes in her head hole though.
That's true.
That was brilliant. I thought that was actually really funny.
Yeah. So Jonathan's gonna come back home. He's gonna see the mashed potatoes in his mom's face. Art's going to inject him with like the needle to knock him out, and that's when the tiny girl using the mom's voice, Jonathan's voice somehow. Now they could just mimic voices. Is gonna be like, you have to meet me at the Terrifier exhibit.
Yep.
So Brooke's boyfriend,
Jeffrey.
just the tip, Jeffrey, and Sienna are gonna go all there together.
Yeah. And this is where they're like spending time in the car,
Yeah.
and they're like trying to hook up, and he's like trying to take a piss.
Mm-hmm.
Just the tip, and then he gets just the tip cut off.
Oh my God! Just
Brutally ripped
repeatedly
off.
stabbed there. They owed us one because in the first one you saw the girl cut in half from the bottom up. So I guess
Yeah.
now they had to do one for the
I
guys.
think it's funny how he had it written. Like I don't know how he does it with no one noticing, but because if someone was writing on my windshield or the window,
You would
I
notice
know,
someone writing
like,
just the
just
tip.
the tip, and she looks out and she just sees this guy's dick getting ripped off by Art the Clown.
Oh God, brutal. So she runs into the Terrifier exhibit to try to escape him. She does that classic horror movie thing where she corners herself in a bathroom with no exits. So they think. So he has that like mallet he carries that has all the forks and knives in
Yeah.
it, and you think he's going to use that at first. Instead, he has the hydrofluoric acid to the face.
That is so brutal. And I like how they brought that back because you do see him take that in the beginning, and they brought it right back, and I was just like, whew, yeah.
Just brutal. Just imagine having your face melt.
No, it's not fun. Not fun at all.
It like bubbles. You literally see a bubble.
Then he just takes the actual bedpost thing and caves her chest in, killing her.
And then goes for her heart. He eats her heart.
He does eat her heart. He likes to eat, though. Like, we've seen that in the first one. He ate that girl's face.
Yeah.
And in this one, he's going to start biting some ankles.
Can I ask you a question? When they were in the clown cafe, what was the gift he gave her? Was
A
it
heart.
A heart.
It was a heart, right?
It was a decaying heart.
Which I don't know if any of this stuff has meaning.
Well, that's the thing. It could go back to the dad being he's giving his daughter his heart.
You see? But again, it's not the father.
It's
So
not, unless we
like,
find out it is in
I
the
feel like
third
we're on
one.
an episode of Maury. Like, you're not the father.
I know, Art. Maybe Art just wants to be the father.
I don't know. Even when he doesn't brutally kill Jonathan, even when he injects him, I was like,
True.
Like, you know?
It's because it goes back to the thing where it's like the whole point is that Art and Sienna are supposed to have this face off. Even though, like, so Sienna's going to show up here and she's going to fight Art, but Art just kicks the shit out of her.
Yep.
But then
And
just
leaves.
leaves her.
Which again, abusive father, like kicking her down until she's down.
Is this when he's whipping her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I
kicks
feel-
her and
God, I feel like this scene goes on for a million years.
It does, because there's like, sorry, get it situated here with Pup. He beats her in like 3 different locations.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it just keeps going on until eventually they fall down that like hole. She gets stabbed in the chest and falls into the clown pit.
The clown pit, yeah.
I don't know
which
what
is
to call
so
it.
annoying.
Which she wakes up in Houdini's water box.
In the tank where she's going to progress to drown, but is resurrected by
The sword.
glowing Excalibur sword.
And while that's going on, Jonathan wakes up and Art the Clown's just eating his ankles.
Yeah, he's just nipping on him.
like the weirdest body parts he picks. Like I don't.
Yeah, because the ankle's kind of bony for the most
Yeah, there's
part.
not a lot of meat there,
Yeah,
especially
so,
on
like-
a kid like Jonathan.
Yeah, like you ain't getting it. Like work up your way to the calf or the thigh or something. Like why are you biting ankles? It just don't make sense. But yeah, like this is where it gets weird, and it really does take away from the movie. Is like she's resurrected by the sword. Like you see the hole in her abdomen heal.
She gets kicked down so many like layers of ground. She gets kicked down into a cave, and then she gets kicked down into there. It's kind of crazy.
And then she just comes back with the sword. And it's not even much of a fight from here, right? She just kind of decaps Art.
Yep. She literally fights him. There's a long fight of them just hitting each other with like the chains,
Yeah.
but at this point, she just basically just cuts his head off.
And then there's a part where doesn't the little girl pretend she's the mom? Remember, like Sienna sees and envisions her mom. I
Yes.
guess, and then Jonathan's like, "That's not mommy," and it's the little girl.
Little girl,
and
yeah.
it's just there's so many weird things, and I'm just like, it's like fillers.
It's confusing.
it's-
That's what I'm saying. It's too long. A horror movie of this nature should not be 2.5 hours long.
Also, going back, because the scene is playing right now where he's gonna fillet the girl. When he breaks in and like she sees it, she has ample opportunity to sneak the hell out.
Yeah.
And she just watches him pour himself a glass of
It's
water.
wild.
And I know she's maybe in shock, but like there's so many options I would have done. Like I would have backed away really slow. I would have ran out the door that he broke. But she just watches him. So what do you think's
I
gonna
actually
happen?
think after the scalping, she might have bled out because he gets right to her brain.
Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, like look at that. Oh God, yeah. I mean, again, it's so unrealistic, but it's very tough to watch. So the sharp scissors can't cut through her skin, but his hands can. Like when he rips her.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah, this is absurd. Okay, let's get back to
Anywho.
because we were right at the very end, so we could finish this up. Art's beheaded. The little girl then takes Art's head and walks away, and then Jonathan and Sienna are okay and live, and that's the end until the mid-credit scene, which we cut to Chris Jericho, fucking and
Walls of Jericho.
and he's just offering this girl he's working with his wife's dessert, which is zombie brains. Which, to be fair, I would have ate some.
of course you
it's
would.
cool. It's Halloween.
It's like jelly candy and
Yeah,
stuff
like-
like that. I definitely would have dabbled. But the whole point of this scene is not the zombie brains and Chris Jericho. It's that the girl from the first movie, Victoria, is giving birth to Art the Clown's head,
Yep.
which she's licking clean like that woman in The Brood.
Yeah, so am I supposed to assume that after he gets decapitated, he's still not dead and is reborn through
Victoria.
the son that he implanted into Victoria?
Yeah, but
did
how
he
did he implant a son in Victoria? Like they never
They didn't-
alluded to
yeah.
that ever.
How else would immaculate reception? How else?
That's what it seems like. Like the victims that survive have to give birth. I don't know. It's super weird. It kind of doesn't make any sense. But I'm sure they'll maybe explain it in the third one.
I have no hope for the third one.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll have you on that episode.
Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm just so annoyed right now.
I do love when he salts her here, though, in this scene. Because it's just absolutely wild.
Not really just salty, like he really shoves it in those wounds.
It's just because he's dancing. Look at this shit. He's just he's so happy to be salting someone.
I also like the idea of him being just an adult, like a random human serial killer. Like
that's why I liked it when he was human in the first one.
I liked that better.
It was scarier.
It was much scarier, and it was funny because after the credits rolled, I was so pissed. I was like walking away, and we paused it, and then Chris Jericho popped. You know how on you can see like when they show who's in it, and Brian was like, "There's got to be more to this," and we watch it, and I don't know, it just didn't make much. It just doesn't make much sense.
Oh, you're really bleeding.
Yeah. What did you do? I was getting a little excited.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll wrap this up. I'll go into my review because we've talked about everything that's happening. I'm going to give this movie a cold 6. We're not going hot 6. We're going cold 6. It's too long. It's too long. It kind of goes off the rails. Like, the kills and the blood are all great, but that can only go so far. Like, the story it's kind of all over the place, if I'm being honest. I like it, the simplicity in the first one. There's not really much to say. Like, we kind of hit all the main points. It's just more so I take away a lot because the story's kind of all over the place. So, cold 6.
Yep. I have it as a 5. Kills are cool, a little over the top. Fantastical element, I feel like does not fit. Ruins the horror element of Art the Clown, where the first one had. It was a little bit more gritty, a little bit more raw. I liked it a little bit better. I do understand the element that they took. I just didn't know if it was the right fit for this movie. So, still think Art the Clown is super creepy, but I would love to see if there is a third that they go back to kind of like that first model again. So, 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4. All for the same reasons you guys did. I just want a little bit more explanation, and I just want, like, less is more. It's always, less is always more. So a little bit more to the imagination. But I would like somewhat of a backstory as like where he came from. So 4 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Necro time.
That's it.
I'm going to give it to the bedroom kill. It's the best kill in the movie. It's absurd. It's just, like I said, I've talked about it for so long. I've never seen something like that in a movie theater. Like, I've seen gorier, but that's been like straight to like video or like,
for sure.
Or just like this couldn't be shown in movie theaters. So it's like, like it's brutal. Like what those like this is just like, it was in an AMC in Richfield Park. Like, it's like crazy. Yeah. So that's my vote.
Is Brian going or am I?
It doesn't matter.
I'm in the same boat as you. Even though it was super over the top, it was wild.
It sticks with you, that one.
It does. It definitely does. So the salt in the wounds, the way he cracked up by the whole thing. Yeah.
I also like the mom's death where she gets blown in the face.
And has the mashed potatoes in her face.
Yeah, it's fucking kind of nuts. It's tough. Which ones did you guys go with?
We both went with the girl in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was going to go with, too.
Oh, okay. Perfect. We're there.
Took us a minute, but we got there.
All right. So, Allie, you will officially now be the goriest death ever put in the Necronomicon. And we've said it, and I'm just going to say it again. You were the sweetest girl in the whole movie. You were nice. You were a good friend. You were looking out for your friend. You would never molly your friend. You just wanted to help. And that, in horror movies, normally does lead to the most brutal death imaginable. If there's a lesson that can be learned, sometimes it pays to be a little bit of an asshole. You know? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. If you're too nice, you're going to go out like that. So, you know, we're sorry, but welcome to the Necronomicon. Right, puppy?
He's out cold.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Okay. So, thank you for being on.
Thank you, as always. Brian's losing blood as we speak.
Yeah, I'm bleeding like crazy because I bit my lip open.
Yeah, That's a lot. That's a lot of blood. So we're going to wrap this one up by saying, Kaitlyn, of course, thank you for being on. And thank you for loving, spooky season, being a part of Sequel September into Sequel October. We have one more week of October. We're not going to do a sequel. We're actually going to start a new series to end October. We're going to do the classic series, Hellraiser. So it was only a matter of time that we did it. Probably took a little too long to get into it, but we're going to finally do it.
Super excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So with that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week where we raise some hell.
Raising some hell. Yeah, no, it's going to be really cool talking about the sound bites. Tune in every Monday, www.thefinalpodcast.com for all the content, all the places to find us, and on Fridays for the low-budget horror review series that we do called Final Friday with Mike G, who's an absolute total psychopath and cannibal. And we'll see you next Monday.